House in Baltimore, and lines, you'll hear lots of that around here this week. Still waiting for the Orioles to do something in the offseason, but thankfully the hardwoods are out there, and I missed the Maryland-Syracuse game on Monday night because it happened simultaneously with the Ravens game, but Robert Canady was monitoring that as well as all sorts of local college basketball action around here. This portion of our WNST programming brought to you by Compass Point Golf Course in Pasadena is the best place to play this fall, this winter. They also have some junior camps going on next summer, so if you're looking for a holiday gift for the golfer in your life, that is the way to do that. This guy golfs in the spring and the summer and talks about college basketball in the late fall and into the winter. We welcome Robert Canady back on from Compass Point Golf Course and our pal out online at Buckets and Birds on Twitter as well. This is when it's starting to pick up, right? We're starting to actually get some home games. I had Juan on earlier this week. They're going to start playing on home courts here soon, right?
Absolutely, Nestor. Yeah, a lot of travel over the last Thanksgiving holiday week with a lot of teams down in Florida, which is not a bad place to escape to in the wintertime. So Towson, Maryland played down there. I think UMBC was down there as well. But they're all made their way back north, and a lot of good games coming up over the next week at the local campuses. And definitely I'll be out at a few of them, and tough. Unfortunately, a few of them take place the same night, so tough to be in two places at once. But I'll pick and choose, and there'll be some good hoops over the next week to get out to.
Well, let's start with Maryland because they're going to begin the Big Ten play this week. It's sort of weird with the Big Ten tournament. A couple of games here in between the St. Bonaventures and the Jackson States and the Gardner-Webbs and the Catholic. But don't look now, but here comes Purdue and then a trip out to Champaign this weekend. This is sort of the beginning of the run for the Terps. And, that was a tough one to lose a game at the buzzer the way they did to Syracuse. The St. Bonaventure thing's a little bit unforgivable, though, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And like yourself, I didn't really get to see I had to catch the end of the Maryland game on the radio because I was at a Towson game that night, but listened to the end of it on the radio, and tough loss there up in a tough place to play. And no rest for them because they'll be hosting Purdue on Friday night. I will be out at that one at the Xfinity Center. And Purdue just comes off, beating Louisville on Tuesday night, I believe it was. So, that'll be their first Big Ten game, and then they travel to Illinois. After those two, they are back home then for the rest of December, which is good, with some of the usual lighter games that they should pad their schedule going in before conference picks up right at first of the year. But they'll be home after the Illinois game. They'll be home the rest of December for that.
You mentioned you went out to see Towson, and I guess they're the best team in the area for the small schools, and certainly the highest expectation there. But they got some weird games coming up here on Morgan and UMBC next week. It's a little bit of a mini battle for Baltimore coming on.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see that one as well. Oddly, again, on that same night, I believe the Naval Academy is going to be playing at Coppin, which would have been a great game to get to as well. So, but I've really wanted to see Morgan State. I haven't seen them yet this year because they're right up there as well. You talk about the best teams. Obviously Towson at 6-1 with only one loss, but Morgan at 4-2, and one of those losses was to West Virginia, who's 6-1. And is just basically steamrolling people. And they had a good win over Missouri where they came back and won last week. So, the Morgan State is up there, but Towson is actually recently, just this week, they were ranked number 23 in the College Insider mid-major top 25 poll. That's a mouthful to say, but not the big boy AP polls or the coaches poll, but the College Insider does a good job of ranking all the mid-majors and following the level that we follow here on a local basis. So it was nice to see Towson break into the top 25 there with their 6-1 record, and they're at Ireland later this week, playing a couple games over there as part of a Tourism of Ireland thing that they've got going on, and they'll play LaSalle, which is a really good matchup for them on Friday out of the A10, and then they'll play either Manhattan or Holy Cross, I believe, in the second game. So that'll be a good trip for them. I know talked to Pat Scarry and a few of the players after the game Monday night, and they were definitely looking forward to that trip.
I wonder if they'll make it to Dundalk, Ireland, the way I did. You got to make that pilgrimage. Are they playing in Dublin?
They are in Dublin, yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Dublin's a fine place. I made it there this summer. I don't know that I'll ever make it back.
Oh, Belfast. I'm sorry. They're in Belfast.
They're Belfast. Oh, that's the other side. Okay. Well,
I apologize.
I'll definitely look that up. By the way, Navy plays Morgan, too. I mean, there really is a little Battle of Baltimore thing going on here over the first month, right?
It is. It's that's neat. Like I said, at the Baltimore Media Day that they had out at CQ, back in October in the preseason, all the coaches were there, and they talked about that, that they are all for playing the local teams. I mean, there's not one of them that's opposed to it. The next step would be to get them all together maybe the same weekend in the same arena. But they all like playing each other as far as...
Well, the numbers don't add up. It's not an even number to do that, right? Like, that's literally always sort of been the issue, even back in the Battle of Baltimore. Somebody had to sit one of the games out every year, right?
Right, unless you expand, I guess you got the five local, 5 immediate areas, but then you could bring in either Navy or Mount St. Mary's, the kind of...
UMES, there's other schools you could bring in, sure.
Right. But as far as the actual Baltimore proper schools, it would be at odd numbers. But it's still something they'd all like to see and do. But they do a great job of playing in the non-conference season, and that's great. Like I said, so Wednesday night there'll be 2 great games for people in the area to get out and see either one of those. Some good basketball in both cases.
UMBC's been okay of late, right? They've won some games here the last week and a half. I don't know how high the expectations are, but they've kind of hung in against everybody except Arizona back at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they're sitting at 4-3, and 2 of those losses, the first 2 games of the year, SMU and Arizona. They do come in, with a high expectations as far as in the conference preseason favorites, and coming off 20 win season last year. So they're really starting to play well. They've got Jarius Lyles, their leading scorer, is got a little bit of a nagging injury right now that he's been dealing with. But they've got other guys picking up the slack for them. The well-balanced team with lots of seniors. So looking forward to seeing them play. Probably it'll be, I think, the next weekend at Towson. I think they play at Towson on December 9th, and if they both keep winning, that should be probably a showdown for the for the bragging rights of the Baltimore area.
Here's Buckets and Birds out on Twitter. He does it down at Compass Point Golf Course, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, but he's covering college basketball for us. It's been many years now here at WNST. We've heard the voice of Robert Canady. He runs around Towson, Morgan, UMBC, Coppin, Navy, Maryland, wherever the basketball happens to be out there. Tell me a little bit about what's going on golf-wise down there, because I know the weather has been very favorable to all the local duffers around here. We haven't had any really awful weather at all. Maybe a few chilly days, maybe a few windy days, but by and large, it's still golf season into December, man.
It is. Typically, I think, early December, we average in the low 50s or so, which is not bad at all. You put on a couple layers and you get out and you play. And, recently we've had some, days that top 60 degrees with sunshine, and, the links have been crowded and everything. People, enjoy and play. So, we're all for it. We stay open, and as long as there's not snow on the ground, it's open to play. And, we got a lot of holiday specials going on in the pro shop that people can take advantage of, or they're holiday shopping while they're getting a round in and everything. So it's a win-win. How'd
the turkey shootout go? Everybody have turkey and gravy? Let me guess, pumpkin pie was served.
There was definitely lots of good desserts, and I think a lot of people may have been turkeyed out after the day before, so we had a few things non-turkey related, but the weather was actually nice that day. I was out in it, played in it myself, and it was a nice, actually for a good part of the day, I got to take the pullover off, and play just a long sleeve shirt, so you can't complain about that. So it was a good turnout. Yeah, we had almost a full field, and everyone had a great time, so that was our last official event of the season, and it was a great time.
I'm waiting for my first chance to wear sandals again, Robert. It may be March or April. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to Florida for spring training or something like that.
There you go. Sure. Our next official event on the calendar will be the Irish Open in March. So maybe you'll get a chance to do that and everything in March.
I hear they celebrate the Irish on March 17th. I think that's a fact.
They've been known to do that, yeah, and we'll actually have it a few days earlier than that, so you can actually get a pre-celebration in. So.
Buckets and Birds is the way to find him. He does golf sales for a living down at Compass Point. He covers college basketball locally for us, and anywhere they're dribbling here on weeknights throughout December, you will find Robert Canady courtside, as well as his tweets at Buckets and Birds, and sometimes we retweet him at WNST.net, and he visits once a week. You can go to Compass Point Golf and learn more about all the stuff that they do down there, compasspointgolf.com. A great course close to home. He's in Pasadena, but I'm sure he'll be watching basketball all weekend. Robert, we'll check in with you after Towson gets back from Ireland, Maryland gets back from Big Ten play, and we'll see how it shapes up next week. Good to have you on, man.
Yeah, Absolutely. We'll have some good stuff to talk about next week. Have a good one, Nestor.
You got it. Plenty of dribbling going on around here in the post-Thanksgiving holiday madness. You can find me out on the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere you happen to be. Our morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. That is shipped digitally right to your email. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness at PlanetFitness.com. No commitment, $10 a month. That's the way Planet Fitness rolls. That's the way they've always rolled. You can learn more at PlanetFitness.com. Don't forget on Thursday, Dennis Kolatzos will be here from 3 until 5. Driving you home, it is the SSV on WNST. And, of course, Coons Ford and Security Boulevard sponsors our WNST Tech Service. That is all brought to you by them, and it is our best service for breaking news, injuries, trades, anything that's going on around here. We're still waiting for the Orioles to do something, anything here in the offseason. I'm not holding my breath. That's all I'm going to say on that. Nasty at WNST.net finds me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.